Good morning, Jon Cramer, Schneider Electric. I'm here with Rick Daber from Facility Automation Solutions, a local eco-expert partner of ours that's located in Jacksonville, Florida. And we thought we would come by and share with you today a little bit about what we have going on in real estate as a whole. And many of you can tell by the photo behind me here, it's not your typical type of real estate. But anyway, Rick, let's talk a little bit about what brought facility automation to NASCAR.
In 2013, NASCAR had a project to renovate their entire stadium at the Speedway in Daytona. And we got involved as a Schneider partner for doing the BMS controls, mostly for temperature controls in the high-dollar suites. The project morphed into a lot more of a systems integration project as we went on. So we ended up building a great relationship with the facilities operations people in Daytona. Mm-hmm. And since it's their headquarters for NASCAR, they operate multiple venues around the country. And so they've started having us also look at those other venues. But by branching out from just the temperature controls to integration into the other systems that use energy in the buildings, we really made a much more valuable tool that they can use to manage a facility of that size.
So we're looking at a smart stadium, essentially,
yes.
Is what this is. So
it's a very large smart stadium.
You talk about building automation. What other systems are we looking at or talking about within the facility?
For one, the power distribution system. So there's intelligent Schneider breakers in the entire facility. There was no requirement to actually interface to those to begin with, but we said, hey, we can show you what's going on in the building if we can simply talk to those. We integrated to the elevator system, to the escalators, so we can tell them anywhere across this huge facility which units are running correctly, which ones aren't, which ones need to be turned off because no one's there. Food services, I think there's 83 some odd walk-in freezers and coolers across that grandstand. And they need to know before the ice cream comes running out underneath the door that they have a problem in any of this. So we monitor their temperature and alarm conditions in every one of those as well. So it morphed its way throughout the entire facility.
Not your average piece of real estate, for sure.
No. And when COVID hit, NASCAR's revenues went way down. And you could not have a venue like this with this kind of crowd during the COVID years. So revenues fell off. Their operating staff had to consolidate a lot. Well, you still have a venue that's over a mile long, and you have now a much more reduced operation staff. How do you keep track of everything that's going on in there?
You've got to monitor it.
You bring it all together into one place, and you show them what's going on with all those systems.
So what kind of magnitude are we at today with a facility such as this? Has NASCAR expanded this across the country, or is it just localized here in Daytona?
Well, you don't usually think of NASCAR as being a green, sustainable entity. But strangely enough, they have instituted a program called NASCAR Impact. NASCAR Impact was started in 2023. And their goal was to reach net zero operating emissions by 2035. Net zero.
Aggressive.
Across all their venues and across their headquarters and staff locations too. So it called for a massive overhaul as to how they were going about managing those facilities. And that program is well underway. They have to track it year after year. They are very active and aggressive in trying to reach that goal. So our role in it being that we can show them when and where energy is being used in these facilities, not just Daytona, but other facilities around the country. That helps them document and reach those, progress toward those net zero goals.
So a facility that's utilized a half a dozen times a year is still very much critical when we talk about sustainability and energy consumption and net zero goals. Is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, you see, everybody sees the Daytona Speedway looking like this.
Right.
It only looks like this 2 weeks out of the year. The rest of the other 50 weeks of the year, it's vacant. So how do you manage the energy consumption of a place that's only got to have peak performance like this at this time, and the rest of the time be down to idle.
Well, we've all learned with COVID and the pandemic and everything else that getting occupied spaces back up and running to full capacity is a challenge, which we're getting there in today's environment in conventional real estate. But like you said, something like this, we're not ever going to be there.
Yes.
It's going to be used 2 or 3 times a year, and that's just the nature of where we are.
And they have very aggressive goals for implementing solar energy in a lot of their facilities, because it does occupy a lot of space.
Right.
There's a lot of room for alternative energy sources, renewable sources. They're investigating renewable fuels for race car engines. Their goal there is to get it to all the way to non-petroleum based fuels. So they're making, and then in their administrative offices, they're seriously working on ways to trim their energy consumption there and reduce their environmental footprint.
So the future for NASCAR is driverless electric race cars?
I don't know as we'll ever get to that point. They are still in the entertainment business.
Right.
As much as they are in the facility operations business, they are definitely in the entertainment business. And putting 101,000 people in that grandstand that you see is still a prime consideration. But they need to do it in an environmentally responsible way. Think of the amount of refuse that's produced during those 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They have programs to actively recycle that. They have programs to actively manage their water consumption and everything else during those times too.
So you mentioned that NASCAR is taking this into the future. Give us just a snapshot of the size, not only this facility by itself, but if we add these all up around the country, how many racetracks are we talking about? I mean, a lot of folks here, some may know, some may not know, right?
Major venues like this, NASCAR owns and manages, I think about 13 to 15 different ones, and then there's also smaller ones. Right. Some of those only have events once a year. So to manage that whole facility during that time remotely, because your staff is limited. Your staff may be in Daytona, but you've got to manage Watkins Glen and Phoenix. So to be able to see all those, so as integrators, we're trying to bring all that stuff together into one place for them.
And they will be managing all of this from Daytona.
Yeah, or from whatever venue they happen to be at the time, because they move their staff where the events are going. So
how large is this facility? I mean, it's something that the people can relate to. How physically large is this facility?
The One World Trade Center that replaced the Twin Towers in New York City is intentionally 1,776 feet tall, in reference to the Declaration of Independence. Mm-hmm. This stadium is over twice that large, twice that tall, but if you laid it on its side. So it is nearly a mile from one end to the other. Well over 5,000 feet. Then they manage facilities on the infield side of this as well. You can put 101,000 people in the stands, permanent seats. You can put another 50,000 people and their RVs in the infield, and you need the systems to manage all of those fans as well. There's an image that we had of an aerial view of this stadium from 2,000 feet, and if you took a scale model of the 15 largest professional and college sports venues, stadiums, in the state of Florida, they all fit within the infield of
That's incredible.
Of the Daytona Speedway. So it gives you an idea of the magnitude of the size of the facility, and then the challenge to manage that from an environmental standpoint and from a staffing standpoint. So the power of bringing that information together in one place for them is the valuable.
Significant need for intelligence and automation and sustainability all wrapped up to manage something of that size. It's quite incredible.
And to help them meet their corporate goal. They're dead serious about being net zero by 2035.
That's the most bizarre thing, right? Is people associate racing and that kind of thing with let's burn some rubber, let's burn some fuel, and don't even realize that on the other side of that there is very much a need to move this forward. And NASCAR, it sounds like, is the flagship, right? Other entertainment industries that deal with motorsports are
do
going
the
to
same
follow.
thing.
I mean, you can go to some of the racing teams' websites, right, for example, and they all have sustainability goals that they are
Yes.
actively pursuing.
Yes, it's very active.
Electric NASCAR. The wave of the future.
It could happen. I don't know. You know, right now you've got the average is about 4 to 5 miles per gallon of a car during a NASCAR event, and not to mention all the practice laps and everything else, qualifying everything before that. So it's a major undertaking.
It's
Definitely
interesting.
is.
We got about a minute. Anything else you want to finish off with? I mean, this is just a fascinating story, and I think folks would like to learn more about how this has all transpired and where they are definitely headed in the future as a model, right, for entertainment.
It's really about partnerships. It's really about trying to work together between a provider and a customer to meet their needs, to understand how you can take the technology that's available now and practically apply it to what that customer needs. And how do you specifically address what they need? How do you partner with that customer that says, through thick and thin, we're going to help you reach your goals? And when that relationship gels together, then you get some great results.
This is excellent. This is a great story. Got about 30 seconds, but Rick, you know, thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome,
you
John.
coming.
You're welcome.
You made the drive up from Jacksonville, so not too far, but
Glad to do it.
yeah, this is awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. You're welcome.